treachery, torture, betrayal, and Sasha loves food. Attack on Titan chapter 54. So very dialogue heavy chapter for the most part. The first half of it, or the first quarter of it, around that part, was characterization, getting a little bit more into Historia, learning who she is. I wasn't that fond of the dialogue between her and Eren, because it definitely felt a little bit like heart to heart between the two characters, and kind of Eren telling her, you know, it's okay that you're not Krista. I'm still satisfied with who you are. And if anything, I thought you were creepy back then, because I could see through the bullshit of you being this happy, jolly girl. Now, the woman with Historia definitely looked very similar to Eren's mom. I'm gonna keep saying that. It looked very similar to her. And also, when she used that power, seemingly, to make Historia forget that she, you know, was meeting up with her daily, I'm thinking, okay, what is her relation? Is she her real mother, possibly? Is she just somebody that, like, feels bad for her and just didn't want to get caught up in the mess? Her using that power definitely makes me think, okay, she's more than what meets the eye, and possibly even a Titan, and that's her Titan power, similar to the power that we saw Eren exhibit, where he could control people. Maybe that was her power, to make people forget that they saw her, just erase their memories. I mean, it's not that far-fetched, because Eren used his power when he was in his human form, so maybe she was using hers in her human form. But again, a lot of dialogue in that particular part, and a lot of it was just, okay, we already know this, let's move on. And I'm referring to the stuff with Eren and Historia talking, because the first bit was actually pretty interesting. Then we get some action, and it's kind of weird, because I'm normally used to action with, you know, Attack on Titan. It's supposed to be the Titans, but we get to see the internal struggles, and that would actually be what would happen in the real world, where the world is ending and people are fighting for power left and right, and they're trying to get Eren and Historia. Well, Historia, we're still not exactly sure what's so special about her. Definitely Eren, they want him because he's a human that exhibits Titan powers. He can do Titan stuff, and they want that at their disposal. I was kind of surprised to see Mikasa a little bit slipping there, and Sasha had to come and save her with an arrow. I was like, Mikasa, you slipping, bro? Still in love with her. Her and Levi kicking ass. That was pretty cool. Again, it was just like, oh, you're kicking some crusty humans' asses. I'm not surprised at all that they could kick ass. I mean, come on, it's Mikasa and Levi, two of the most badass characters in this entire series. And it definitely shows that this is just more so a power struggle, and a lot of the second half of this chapter was just kind of showing what's going on in the internals of the government. The government pretty much, the king doesn't give a fuck. Like, you see that panel, he's just there, there's like sake on the table, he's just getting drunk, not giving a fuck. He looks a little bit depressed, if anything. I don't know what's up with that, but you can totally see the king does not care. There's a king that needs to be dethroned. Get him off of there, because his era of monarchy is just terrible. I mean, he's pretty much letting people die of starvation and not giving a flying fluck. And what Levi and them are doing is definitely the correct approach to this. I mean, they're pretty much trying to overthrow the government and take control. Now, I'm curious, though, when you see Erwin at the end, and he's telling Pixies what they're planning on doing, I'm curious as though, okay, if they're going to overthrow the government, are they planning on getting a new king? If so, who are they planning on having as king? I'd imagine they're more so just trying to get rid of the government that's already established, and maybe they'll probably come up with something similar to, you know, a democracy of some sort. Either that or Erwin wants to be king. There's something fishy about that motherfucker, I'm just saying. As far as the progression that we got in this chapter, we really didn't get too much. We learn a little bit regarding, you know, the backstory of Historia, again, with that mysterious female. We get to see in the end that they pretty much formed a pact with the Reeves company, where they're going to help them and they're going to work with each other in order to overthrow the government. So some progression here and there, but definitely very dialogue heavy, a little bit of action here or there, and just overall, it didn't feel as though like this was Attack on Titan. It just felt like, okay, this is internal struggles. Like, can we get some Titan action in here? I'm just saying, like, I want to see some more Titan shit. Where's the Gorilla Titan? And while an interesting beginning and some cool action towards the middle, definitely this chapter didn't feel as though it was one of those, you know, oh my god, Attack on Titan type of chapters. And I'm not specifically talking about, oh, I need action, because that's not what I'm referring to. I'm more so referring to just kind of the ins and outs of the stuff out of the castle. Because while the stuff in the castle does indeed matter, the most important stuff and the most interesting stuff with Attack on Titan is everything around them and everything outside with the Titans and all the mystery that's going on. So I would love to get a little bit more focus on that. Let's solve this problem with the government. Maybe just have Eren go Titan and just jump and rip everyone inside the kingdom and the government down. Because at this point, we pretty much have the government versus the Survey Corps and the Reeves company, because they, you know, form the pact. So I want to breeze through this material, because while it's cool, it's not the most exciting thing, definitely, and it's not something that, you know, I really want to desperately see. I want to see more of what's going on outside. But as a whole, fine chapter. Felt as though the stuff in the very beginning with Historia and that mysterious lady that's possibly a Titan was very interesting. Then we got some monologue and, you know, dialogue between Eren and Historia, heart to hearts. Wasn't all that interesting. It was like, okay, characterization for her, which is actually desperately needed in Attack on Titan, because the characters could go a little bit more in depth. So in that certain aspect, okay, that's cool. And then getting past this battle with the Reeves company and pretty much saying, okay, our declaration now is we're going to overthrow the government. So as a whole, good chapter. Personally, not one of my favorites. Not something that I'm like gung-ho about because I'm more so interested in stuff outside. But nonetheless, it was still a good chapter. I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10. Good chapter. Hopefully we get through a lot of this internal struggle. And I'd imagine very soon the Titans are going to strike again. And that's where everything is going to be in a disarray. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, who do you think is that mysterious woman in the beginning of the chapter talking to Historia? Is that Eren's mom? Is it someone else? Also, do you think that she is a Titan in that form? And that's why she was able to erase Historia's memories of her. Also, what are your thoughts on Levi and them pretty much trying to overthrow the government and get rid of it? I mean, at the end of the day, they have a shitty government. And I believe definitely this would be something that Levi would be passionate about anyways because, you know, he came from the slums. He came from the streets. So this is something that he would make a personal matter to get rid of a lot of this poverty and make a government that actually works. And just the overall thoughts of the chapter, again, do you feel it was too dialogue heavy? Least favorite parts, most favorite parts. Wasn't a big fan of it overall, but I definitely got to say that it gave good information, and hopefully we could just get past a lot of this stuff. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for hopefully some more Titans showing up because, hello, it's Attack on. For Neverworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.